out there is finding it by accident, this is behind the scenes. This is stuff you will never see when it's edited.
Woohoo!
Okay. Are we ready? Okay.
All good.
Okay. Hey, everybody, this is Patty. Welcome to the Witching Hour. Yes, that hour of the day when the veil is thin and magic happens. I have a great guest for you today. He's somebody I actually just got to meet like a week ago or so on a paranormal investigation with Elton, and we'll tell you all about it. He's known as Groovy Gavin. He is an influencer. He's young and up in the market. So, welcome, Gavin Baker. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a fun time we had, and I'm really curious to see what kind of questions what we talk about and everything.
I know. Yeah, well, we'll go everywhere. Yes, we were actually at Suicide Bridge in Pasadena. We're both LA locals, so that we were there. And oh, I must say, Elton put you through the paces. First of all, not knowing anybody, not have worked with any of us before, and he's throwing on weird equipment on your head and like sending you off into the woods alone. It seemed more like a ritualistic killing than anything else. But you did it. You were a trooper.
Yeah, I survived. No, it was I will say it was by far the most intense ghost hunt paranormal activity that I've ever done. I've done very minor stuff compared to that. I've never done anything like that basically.
Yeah, that was wild. And I do that stuff for a living all over, and that was intense. I
Yeah.
must say that was my first this will have aired on YouTube with Elton the guys before this air, so we can say anything. But that
Oh,
was my
perfect.
first spirit bear, I must say. It's like there's a bear in the tree. No, not
In the
living,
tree,
but
in the
there's
tree.
a bear in the tree. But we got into all kinds of weird ritually things and spirits, and it actually said your name. How,
That I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about that because that's something I've like out of everything I've ever done, every ghost hunt I've been a part of, whether it's someone else's or the ones I've done, I'm always like, if you could say my name, that's all I need. All I need. And so for that to actually happen, it's something I never really expected to actually happen. And I mean, Elton, he's been doing it for I don't even know how long, and he told me that's never happened to him. So for that to happen to me and say my name, and I feel like I don't have the most common name. Like Gavin is not too common.
no,
So that
it's not
was
like
just
Bob. Yeah.
yeah, it's not like Bob or Matthew or something. So that was like I would literally was speechless. I mean, it will be in Elton's video that was probably the most shocking thing I've ever had happen to me.
Yeah, that was wild, even for all of us. All
Yeah,
of us, the
yeah.
old pros. That was wild for all of us. And then I forget we were doing something and asking a specific question, and it literally called me witch medium or medium witch.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's who. That's it was like glad I was there or not glad I was there. I can't even remember actually because even though it doesn't look like it, when I'm on these investigations, I'm always in kind of a trance state. So it's like a dream, trying to remember a dream you don't exactly remember. So
Yeah.
once I see it on screen, it's like, oh
On
yeah,
Elton's
it's like
video, yeah.
watching it for the first time. Ah,
Oh, that's kinda exciting then, I guess.
yeah. So how did this world come about? How did you end up into the paranormal side or going into the paranormal side of things?
Yeah, so it's something I honestly, never really saw myself getting into. I've always loved doing YouTube and just making videos, just had a real passion for videos, and I've always been a very curious guy. I love, like, adventure like, I love the Indiana Jones movies where it's solving a mystery. I'm just very curious about a lot of things. So I've just for years trying to make videos, see what works. Um, I actually the very first video I did that had some paranormal aspect to it, I did meet a witch in the video, which is kind
Oh,
of funny now. Now I'm here. But it was in Ohio. There was a big internet meme that weird stuff was happening in Ohio, and it was like only in Ohio. It was a very odd meme, but I just had the idea. I had tried everything on YouTube. Literally been doing it since I was like 9, and I'm 22
wow.
now,
Wow.
and I just had the idea, what if I just actually go to Ohio, see what the weirdest things are here? We went to a bunch of like haunted tunnels, and I had like not really any ghost gear or really anything. I had no idea what I was doing. We went to a bunch of haunted tunnels, just weird stuff there, and then I met a witch there, and that's kind of what sparked everything. That video just did extremely well. And then I still didn't really ever plan on doing ghost hunting stuff until one of my good friends, Tyler, he was staying at it was, I forget what the ship is. I think it's in San Francisco, but it's an aircraft carrier that's supposed to be
Oh,
very haunted.
yeah,
I
I did
forget the
it. It's kind
name.
of by San Jose. I did it with Elton,
Yes,
actually. I
yes, that's
forget
where
the
it
name
is.
of it, but it's very big.
But
I would be
but
lost down there if
oh, it's
somebody didn't guide
crazy.
me out.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. And so he went there, and he wasn't either planning on doing a ghost hunt. And then the people who worked there, they were like, "Oh, by the way, it's super haunted." They had their own ghost gear and they did it, and they just had crazy experiences. He tells me about this. His video also does really well. He tells me about this. I'm like, this is really weird. This is odd. So he brings me on a ghost hunt later on, and which was the first one we did? Well, he ends up going to another place, which I'm very curious if you've heard of it. It's like northeast of me. I think it's like 3 hours away. It's called the Brackenfern Manor. It's not popular at all. It's very
Oh,
unpopular. Um, but this is the place that he went to film, I think, his first actual ghost hunting video. I don't even know how he found it, to be honest. And I ended up going there after to film my own video. And that's what really got me into the paranormal ghost hunting side of it. Um, I had very basic ghost gear, and I was like, I'm just gonna go here, see what happens. And I just had the most odd stuff happen all night. If you want me to go into that a little bit.
sure. I would love it. Please.
Absolutely. So I went with two of my friends. One of my friends who very much believes in spirits and all that kind of stuff, and the other one who's kind of on the fence about it, but I think generally does. Like we were all very open minded, which I think is very good for that kind of stuff. And
Required.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And so we're having a lot of the equipment go off throughout the night, and we're like, okay, this is really odd because there's some times where it's like there was supposed to be a little boy upstairs on the middle floor, that tragically he got hit by a car right outside. And so he's one of the main, I guess, active spirits or entities there. And we set up lights at the end of the hallway, and I'm like, hey, do you want to race? And one of the lights turns on. And so we race to the end of the hallway, um, and like the light flashes, like right as I get there, which it was just mind blowing. And then one of my friends who was a bit less of a believer, he felt like at one point he got poked by a tack. And this was one of the weirdest things I've had happen, like just a little like a thumbtack. Um, and so later we go down into the cellar, which is supposed to be the most active area. And there's one singular tack stuck in the wall. And we're like, that's just so odd. That is so weird because that's exactly how you described it. And so we get a ton of activity down there. Mainly just using like the twist on and off the mag lights.
Yeah, yeah.
But we
Which
also
great.
had, oh, they are great. We also had a music box that was a bit active, but it was mainly the lights that night. And we're like asking, they're like, is something here? They're going off just on point. We had one of the lights which had not gone off all night. So there was a blue and a red one. Red one was going off all night. So I was like, honestly, maybe the red light's just kind of messing up, bugging out. And then I'm like, okay, if something's actually here, can you turn on the blue light? And all night the blue light had not gone on, and then it goes on, and then they both go
Mm.
on. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And that all was like pretty convincing to me, but it was later that night when we stopped filming that was what really just changed my whole perspective and was really weird. And I think I did briefly tell you about this when we first met, but so it was we shut off all the cameras. It was super late, and I was just so tired. Like I've never been this tired. I was like I should be able to fall asleep right away. Um and I'm sleeping right next to my friend too. So I shouldn't have been scared or anything. Um I closed my every time I was closing my eyes to go to sleep, it felt like my eyes were closed, but I was looking at somebody else's eyelids. Like so it felt like I
Uh-huh.
was looking through someone like I was in somebody else's head. And it was just like it was like a disturbing feeling. Like it was not great, especially when I was just trying to sleep. And it keeps like happening. And I'm like, okay, oh well, I'm just really tired. I need to fall asleep. I fall asleep for maybe like 10, 20 minutes, and it's probably like 3 a.m. at this point. And I have like, I don't know if it was a dream or what, but I saw myself like instantly started dreaming, and I saw myself like from the doorway, and our door was wide open too. We were sleeping with the door wide open. And so I wake up and immediately look right there, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh." Like I literally was just looking at myself. So I was like, this is just freaky. I tried so hard to stay up um longer because I was like, I cannot sleep here. And then it was probably only like 30 minutes later. Um I fell asleep finally, and then and also this time I was probably only asleep for still like 30 minutes. I wake up and I don't wake up. I feel a hand brushing my hair back, like going through my hair a little bit. And I like jolt awake and my hand is still moving. It's my own hand, which that experience was just mind blowing. Like that was the weirdest thing because I've never had anything like that happen in my life. When I was super young, I used to sleepwalk pretty bad, but that was like 10 years ago, and nothing like that had ever happened. So I'm just at that point I'm fully awake. I was like, this is so odd. And then I text my friend who was in a different room just across the hallway. And I'm like, bro, I can't sleep. And he's like, dude, I can't either. And then we hear a door slam upstairs. And we're just like, what the heck? And we go up there and like all the doors are closed. So we had no idea like which door it even was. And then we left. And I was like, that was just so weird. That was so bizarre. And that was the experience that kind of really changed my perspective on everything for sure.
Yeah, it's real. I love it when people finally get that one defining, oh my God, that sounds like you're channeling. I mean, that's what I do. I've been talking to spirits, letting spirits come into my body. When you felt that with your hand, that was a spirit within you doing that. That was a little bit of, possession is one word for it, or just channeling is another word. It's a pretty cool thing.
A bit scary too. A
A
bit
bit
scary.
scary. And speaking of that, like one of the reasons that Elton has brought me along for all these years, and a lot of other people as well, is I'm really good at protection techniques. Do you have any kind of, there's a million ways to do it, working within your belief system, within your religion, working within items and things and herbs. Do you have any way that you're working that you know how to keep yourself safe yet?
I I don't really. I mean, I pray. I'm religious. I'm Christian, but to be honest, a lot of people have been like, "Oh, you need to burn sage after this stuff. You need to like." I'll be honest. I don't even like say goodbye to the spirits most of the time, which people have told me is a big issue. Um, but no, I don't. I have nothing as of now.
Okay. I do highly recommend saying goodbye to the spirits and just say, you stay
I
here,
will.
I'm
I
going
will. I
home.
just
Because
forget sometimes.
yeah, that's okay, and that's okay. And then once you get home, going, nope, go back, stay there. Because that is when they can come along, because the door gets opened, whether it's officially like me opening the veil or just that's what you guys are doing on an investigation. And go within your religion, go with your Christian. Your Christian prayer will work it better than anything else for you because that's your belief system. So that's perfect. But do say goodbye, and do be very clear, about that. No, this is mine, and you could maybe brush my hair a little, but that's it. You set
That's
up the
it. No further.
boundaries on that. Because again, so is there any place that you really want to go that you haven't got to go yet?
Ooh, there's honestly, it's kind of weird. There's some places I would really want to go back to, now that I have a bit more knowledge. Because one place in particular, I went to the Paris catacombs, and they have like the area of it where you can kind of explore or you can tour and stuff. But then they have another area that you kind of have to sneak in that goes on. I think it's for 11 miles, and it's still like parts of it are undiscovered. So I went there way before all the ghost hunting stuff, and we we went deep in. We went with these guides because you have to like hire guides, and our goal was to get to basically what's called the bone rooms, which is where they would actually store like I believe it's like 6 million
Yeah.
dead bodies, 6 million skeletons, which is just like hard to even comprehend how many people that is. So if there's any area that has to be like the most haunted, it has to be have the most activity. It has to be there in my mind. And I remember kind of thinking that then. So we went down there and we we were down there for in total like 12 hours. It
Wow.
was crazy. Yeah. So we're like 3 hours in, and the guides I was with have ever actually never made it to the bone rooms. They've never got there, which was really worrisome. But they did have like maps and instructions, but it's still really hard to find. So at one point, we get lost a little bit and we're
Mhm.
kind of going in circles. And we walk by this one hallway, and it has, I think it was like, it almost looked like some Egyptian snake symbol at the end of the hallway. And I remember looking at it and I'm like, that's just something. There was a lot of graffiti, but I remember looking at it and I was like, that's super, super odd. And we hear a bang, and it's like the walls are very solid. Like if you hit it, it's not making a sound. It's just all rock or super deep down. And I'm like, okay, that's super weird. And this is way before the ghost stuff, like I said. We're basically going in circles because we're lost, and we end up walking by it again. We walk by that hallway and we hear two bangs, and I'm like, what? What is going on? And we got to get out of here. And so we eventually find the way. We make it there, do all our filming and stuff. And on the way back, we walk by the hallway the third time, and I hear three bangs. And I'm
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So I'm just like, if there's anything in here with us, can you bang four times? And as I say it, it bangs perfectly four times. And I was so freaked out. It was the most clear like bangs I've ever heard, and I was so freaked out. I was like, I thought a person was back there like trapped or something. So we go back there, we look, we're like, does anybody need help? Nothing. And so I wish I had some sort of ghost equipment or something, or knew what I was doing back then to really do something there, because I truly believe something was going on down there.
I'm sure. Yeah, that sounds scary. That I may have a little claustrophobia when it comes to deep caves. I haven't been to the catacombs yet. I've been Paris, but not, and I definitely want to go there. But yeah, that's a spooky one.
Yeah, yeah, no, it was a bit claustrophobic for sure.
That is cool. Um, so let me ask you a couple questions. So
Okay.
what is it that you want to in your world, in your public world, in your YouTube world, in your influencer world? What do you is there something you want to expand into, like aliens, Bigfoot, all that kind of stuff, or what are you
Yeah,
looking into?
so I honestly want to cover as much as possible. I'm just a lot anything that's like seems out of this world, I guess, or just hard to believe is the most interesting stuff to me. Like I've been recently focusing a lot more on, I think I mentioned this to you as well. Like there's a bridge in Ireland that hundreds of dogs have jumped off of. And so stuff like that is so interesting to me, because it's just like a true mystery, and it's as true as it gets. And then there was a town in Washington state that um there was like a few days in a row where it rained down like clear blobs, and then like a cat died, people were getting sick. And so that's the stuff that's like the most interesting to me. But I have looked into Bigfoot as well, and I would love. I'm getting into alien stuff very soon, and in June I'm planning on doing a big series on it. But alien stuff is also one of the most interesting stuff to me, because there's a lot of like government involvement and a lot of weird stuff that especially last year came out. So I'm trying to do everything: conspiracies, creatures, mythical creatures, ghosts, everything I can.
That is cool. Okay, so I'll do a really quick lightning round. I've never done this before, but it just
Cool,
sounds
cool.
fun because you're gonna.
No,
Okay,
it sounds awesome.
so just whatever comes first, no right or wrong.
Okay,
Ghosts
okay.
or aliens?
Aliens.
Full moon or new moon?
Full moon.
Yeah. Ouija board, yes or no?
No.
What is the creepiest thing you could hear in the dark?
Um, my name.
And you've done that. Isn't that
Yeah.
cool? Okay. As you know, witches have familiars. We have familiars. Traditionally a cat, but it could be anything. It could be a dog, an owl, or this, or that. It could be a living or a spirit animal. If you had a familiar, what would it be?
Could be anything,
Uh huh.
any animal.
Uh huh. Or anything else.
A wolf.
That's a good one. That is a very good spirit animal, and that is a very good familiar in itself. Okay, so we're going to stay with the witchy thing for a minute. If you had one spell to cast right now, I'd only do good magic, so I wouldn't even
Okay.
mess up your belief system or your religion or anything like that. But if you had one spell to cast right now, what would it be?
Ooh, that's very difficult. I'm trying to do it quickly. Um, is there spells that help me focus more?
Yeah,
That I'd do that.
I can help you with that in 30 seconds flat. Had I given you one of my original books, I had it with me, I would have given you, and I could do that in 30 seconds flat.
Oh, that would
Doesn't
be
even
great.
take a spell. That's just a mind thing. Um, would you, okay, if you had your choice, I've never done this before. If you were all by yourself, would you stay in a haunted asylum or a cursed forest by yourself all night?
Oh my gosh. Um, Haunted asylum or cursed forest? I think haunted asylum.
Me
Haunted
too.
asylum.
Forests are really scary.
Yeah, I feel like I could at least like find a room or something I could stay in the haunted
Right.
asylum.
That's good. Okay. So besides being a witch, I'm also actually a vampire. I'm a good vampire and a good witch. But if you had your choice, would you be a ghost or a vampire?
Vampire. Absolutely
They're
vampire.
fun and they dress really great.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
The best.
so Bigfoot, do you think it's a fact or do you think it's folklore?
Oh, I'm gonna give a cheat answer on this. I'm kind of in between. I
Yeah.
think there might be some giant monkey species, but I don't think it's kind of the Bigfoot a lot of people think of.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's a good answer as anything. Okay, I'm gonna have you a tough one. What's your
Okay.
favorite Halloween candy? That's my favorite holiday.
Ooh. Um, Reese's peanut butter cups. I
Oh,
love
good
I love
answer.
those. I
I
love
do
those so
too.
much.
Those are really good. Okay. What's another one? Okay, if you could time travel, because they're getting close to being able to do that, and you could time travel once, would you go into the past or into the future?
Oh, that is so difficult. Um, I think the past. I think the
Okay,
past.
good. Would you have a certain time, a time, 100 years that you'd like to go into, or way past, or yeah.
Yeah, I mean, either I do because I'm religious. I'd love to meet Jesus. That would be cool. Or I also really love dinosaurs. So one of those two.
Okay, cool. That would be cool. Or maybe you could do both. Maybe I'll
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that. What do you think about this? Is one of my things, and I have a brand new book, Kind and Haunted Dolls, come out. What's your opinion and thoughts on haunted dolls?
I'm very, very curious about haunted dolls. I don't think any experience, but I did actually it'd probably be great to ask you. I wanted to buy one and have one for around 30 days and see what happens basically. So I'm very curious by them, but I don't
Okay,
know really much at all.
okay, they're great. It's like a spirit inhabits an inanimate object. And again, I'll give you a copy of my book when it comes out, and you'll know how to
Oh,
make
great.
your own or buy your own properly, and I can help you with that gladly.
Awesome.
Um, Okay, I've had some experience with Elton and other people with haunted phones, like phones that ring when you tell them to, almost like crazy stuff we did at the Biltmore and other places when somebody's there, it hangs up, crazy. So,
Ooh.
what is scarier to you, a haunted mirror or a haunted phone?
I would have to say mirror. If I
Yeah.
saw something moving in the mirror that wasn't moving, that would be terrifying.
Ah. Would you? Okay, last question. Would you play Truth or Dare with a ghost?
Truth or dare? Uh, yeah. I feel like yes, yes, I would have to try it.
Okay. Yeah, me too. I do too. You can, 'cause you can always chicken out and say, no, never mind,
Yeah,
go
yeah, that's
away.
probably
Leave it
might
alone.
be what happens.
Ah. So anyway, so what do you have coming up for people? Let people know where they can find you, where they can.
Absolutely. So it's just Groovy Gavin on everything. Coming up in June, as I mentioned, I'm doing a big series on aliens and just the best evidence we have on aliens, really trying to dive into the most believable stories and just yeah, what the best evidence is out there. I want to do some more ghost hunting stuff soon. Elton was saying I should, so I might be doing more of that soon and just tackling all the mysteries you can think of. But yeah, just Groovy Gavin on everything.
I love that, and I wish you well with that. Any trips
Thank you.
coming up that you know about or can talk about?
Uh, Honestly, not really that I know about.
Because
But I'm
aliens
sure
are
I will
everywhere.
be. Yeah, no, I mean I'll be going all over the place for that. I'm not really sure where yet.
Okay. All right. Well, you are delightful. I fell in love with you when we first met, and you were such a trooper in that crazy woods. And those were kind of, I mean, consider we're really in Pasadena, those were kind of crazy more than I thought it would be woods,
Oh
actually.
yeah. Yeah, no, I did not expect that at all. I honestly expected very little to happen and I've never even been over to the bridge, so it was really a great experience. And no, it
And
was it was super super great to film with you and see everything you do. It was really really cool cuz I've never seen anything like that or
yeah.
it felt good to have an expert an expert with
Thanks,
us.
thanks. Well, anytime you need somebody to keep you safe or do or bring in the magic or bring in the spirits, I'm pretty good at that. Let me know.
You'll be
I'm
the first
right down the
person I
street.
contact.
Ah, okay. Well, thank you again. And you guys check him out, Groovy Gavin. He's a great guy. Let's learn about aliens together and every other conspiracy theory and mystery out there. Any last words for anybody before we go?
um go check out my channel. Go check out everything Patty does because it's awesome. I love it. I love it. And just stay curious. Stay curious, I guess is what I'll say.
That is a perfect ending. Stay curious. Thank you, Gavin. Thank you, Groovy Gavin, for bringing your magic to the witching hour.
Thank you, Patty.
Ah.
Great. You want to run through the commercial really fast?
Yes. Now we're going to do a little 30-second commercial. I'm
Cool.
going to say this week on the witching hour. That was great, by the way. Thank you. Great
Thank
storyteller.
you.
That was
Thank you.
absolutely perfect. And people are going to love you. I'm going to say this
Great.
week on the witching hour, we have blankety blank, uh, blank. I could say Groovy Gavin or Gavin Baker, aka Groovy Gavin. And what do you want to call me? Influencer, YouTuber, paranormal investigator and YouTuber, curious dude. What do you want me to call you?
Just YouTuber is fine.
YouTuber. And do you
Yeah.
want me to call Groovy Gavin or Gavin Biker or both?
Groovy Gavin.
Groovy Gavin. Okay. And then I'm going to say, what are we going to talk about this week, Gavin? And then you, in like 3, 4 lines, you could say some of your experiences in the paranormal, going into the Paris caves, what we did with Elton, anything you want to say. It's just a little teaser, three,
Okay, just a
four
little teaser
lines.
of what we talked about.
A little teaser of what
Basically.
we talked about.
Perfect. Perfect.
So, okay. All right. All right. Here we go. Hey everybody, this week on the Witching Hour, I have YouTuber Groovy Gavin himself. What are we going to talk about this week, Gavin?
Today we're gonna get into everything. So we're gonna talk about some very terrifying ghost experiences I've had that kind of made me a believer. Then get into a little bit of Bigfoot and mythical creatures, dogs jumping off a bridge, and the Paris catacombs.
You
All
don't want to
creepy
miss it.
stuff.